So today I want to talk about the current state of the Pokemon TCG, the supply and demand, the hype, the prices of vintage and modern, the current state of grading and having to adapt to survive in the hobby. So the supply and demand for Shining Fates is at an all-time high. Everyone and their mum wanting this set. Problem is just not enough supply to meet the demand of the current set. So what's happening is people are just scalping, reselling, whatever you want to call it, using bots to acquire the product and sell it back to us at double the price. Nothing really against these people, they're just doing what they can. They see an opportunity and they're striking. It's just human nature in a way, it is what it is. But none of the other products have been meeting demands for months. But there's some good news. There are new printers apparently coming to the factories that actually print the Pokemon cards. But I think that's like a year or two away. By that time, some more modern sets should be printed. So I don't necessarily think at the moment people should necessarily hold sealed product. I think if you're going to have the product, either sell it and lock in gains if there is any to be gained at the moment, or just open the product and enjoy it like you should. So one of the reasons I think there is the big supply and demand for Pokemon at the moment, other than just it's an awesome franchise and great product, is a combination of several things. I think one of the biggest things at the moment is the current situation in the world and how just bad it is, and people just want to feel nostalgic. And I think opening Pokemon cards, or just any trading cards, is just kind of therapeutic in a way. It takes you back to when you were a kid and you open that in the booster pack and you pull that good card. I think that's what people are just kind of chasing at the moment. Not to mention all the cool cards that have come out through Sword and Shield, and the Charizard chase cards that everyone seems to like, along with the amazing rares and the new Shiny V and the Shiny V cards that are now in Shining Fate set. But not all of them. Where the hell is that Marnie card? I need that. I really did sleep on that card, and now it's too much. Yeah, the hypebeast culture, it's just supply and demand. It happens all the time with sneakers, clothing brands such as Supreme, and even the consoles is a relevant one, just because there's that much supply. Certain people will pay more to have it now than wait. Personally, if I want any of these newer products, like the brand new sets, I honestly think they'll keep getting reprinted till there isn't a demand. Because it's something Pokemon's also done before with when there was the Pokemon Go boom. They had too much supply of certain sets. They just put the printers on and printed them to oblivion, if you will. The sets have now gone back up in price, but it took time for them sets to recover from the lows because they were just sitting around retail price because there was too much supply. Not enough demand for those sets. But I think that is a potential that could happen with sealed products in the future, especially on new sets like Vivid Voltage, Shining Fates, and other Champions Path even. So do I think the prices will hold on the modern cards? So as in modern, I mean the sets that surround this time of the boom, the 2020 boom of Pokemon. So year before kind of things that were still in print then. So one of the things that kind of makes me wonder if they will hold, or if not, drop down and do a retrace and then take several years to recover, which is normal, in collectibles and things. So I think some of these modern cards, such as the Champions Path Charizard and some of these other popular cards that have been in these current sets that we've had now, will take time. I think they will have a decrease and take time to come back up. Mainly just because I think when things go back to more normal, certain people will get out of Pokemon and sell off their collection because they want to go and have fun. Because when things are back to normal, concerts, conventions, holidays, just things like that, I think prices will drop because I think there'll be a certain amount of people that will just not want to, collect Pokemon cards anymore. They were only doing it why they had nothing else to do. And there's also just the casual come and go of collectors over time. So I think a lot of the other prices are more of the more modernish cards I think will stay. Once again, just a minor retrace probably, as all things naturally do. But overall, I think the newer modern will... So the prices on vintage during this boom have been astronomical. Things are literally going to the moon. Especially on things like graded WHATS era, graded first edition base has just gone wild. Especially you've got one of them Charizard PSA 10 first editions. You know, we really are like life changing money now. I think I saw one the other day sell for like, was it $500,000? That is, it's high. I can't afford that anymore. But when I got into the hobby, I did actually start collecting first edition base. None of the holo cards or any of the top end cards, more of just the common cards and things I really enjoyed the artwork on. And I think the artwork and enjoyment and nostalgia is something that will keep the price. I especially think the more expensive end of vintage will definitely hold its price because it's just, you know, once again, it's a lack of supply and demand. These holo cards and stuff are just harder to grade. Plus, over time, you know, as people weren't necessarily doing this as much before as they are now, the cards have, obviously vintage cards, they have more time to get damaged compared to modern cards when it comes to the grading side. But I do have to worry about some of the more common and uncommon, like even first edition base cards, just the ones that are even just getting them, with all the boxes getting them, you know, cracked now. I do have to wonder how many first edition base set cards, or even first edition jungle and fossil or WHATS era cards in general, are in PSA's backlog, and how many people will actually, you know, be prepared to pay the prices that they're at. And I think one of the problems that contributes to this is the current state of grading, because I do think to a degree it is in company interest to keep cards at a higher price, and the cards at the higher price are done by the are held at higher price because there's less coming out and more cards are just getting consumed within the market than any other time. So yeah, I think a lot of the prices on vintage will hold. I definitely think some of the lower end common and uncommon cards on the lower grades will drop a bit, maybe. They'll probably retrace and go back up over time. But the fact that some of these cards may even retrace is, I don't even think it matters. Because some of these cards, I know some I've bought have just like 10x'd over the last year, and it's like, yeah, if your card drops 20%, it's like, I don't care. Personally, I'm not even going to sell my cards. It's just not going to happen. But I think one of the problems with the current state of grading is people grading modern cards. You know, just you're getting people who are just grading everything and anything that comes out that's shiny and that's selling for a premium. I don't necessarily think all of those prices will hold, just because I think there's that much supply, and a lot of new cards, they come out and they're already in good condition. You know, they haven't had time to get opened and dinged on binders and just, you know, general just wear. So I think the price of modern graded, you know, I've even heard of like people saying a junk slab era, you know, so just graded cards that are just pointless to grade. You know, I've seen people grading common Pokemon cards and selling them, you know, for a bit of money. There's nothing necessarily wrong with it, but it's more of just a markup on some of these items. I think some people will be putting, you know, money into things that won't necessarily, when they want to sell, it'll either take longer or might not even sell. They might have to take a reduced price to sell it to someone else. And some of the graded stuff is always seems to be like a big hype to get something first to market. Like I've seen some of the new McDonald's Pokemon cards getting graded at like 10, and then they put them up and they're selling for like several $100s on auction. I don't even know what some of those auctions ended as, and there was like that PSA 10 Pikachu McDonald's one. It was like 600. I think I saw the post and it was like $661, and I think it still had time left on it. I do think that's a little bit crazy, but then there's some people just really want the first one, and I think there's also that factor to the current state of grading with, can I get it first? Can I one up the other guy or something like that? There's nothing necessarily wrong with it, but that's one of the things. It's like, can I get this graded card out first? Like the black label Charizard from I can't even remember what set now, but it's a while ago. It's a BGS black label Charizard. I think that sold for quite a lot of money. So the last thing I kind of want to talk about is having to adapt. Having to adapt is one of the hardest things has been one of the hardest things for me personally, and I think it's something some collectors just can't get over. So personally, when I first started collecting Pokemon, I was collecting first edition base PSA graded. That was where I started. That's when prices were a hell of a lot cheaper. I don't actually have many cards in there, but I was just kind of a casual collector. I was just more buying the cards I liked, but they were a lot cheaper because obviously there wasn't a lot of people doing it, and I think I started buying graded cards probably about 2-3 years ago. I think I bought my first graded card, which was, I think it's a Black Star promo actually. But that was when I got kind of casual, I'd say kind of intermediate. I'm not necessarily a hardcore at it at the moment, but yeah, having to adapt and change is something you need to do as a collector if you're going to keep enjoying. You have to find something that's in your price range. First edition base no longer really, it's not really in my price range. Yeah, they can collect ungraded and unlimited. Unlimited is still very affordable for a lot of collectors. I'm considering doing an unlimited jungle set, just a binder set. It's quite affordable. Most cards are still under £10, £5 range. But yeah, I've been collecting more rarer modern cards. It's just something I've been enjoying lately. But thanks for listening, guys, and I'll see you next time.